Hey, I didn't even bring any water in this camp. I just played myself. Suckers be playing themselves for the mass appeal. I think that was Guru, 1994. Mass appeal. What a person would do for mass appeal.
Hello, all.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's subject.
Gonna go straight into it, huh? You're not even gonna have no kind of build up. You don't even want to see how people's day is going. You don't want to look at the chat. You don't want to acknowledge people.
Nowadays, bro, they've been here long enough. They know. They've been in here saying hi all the fucking long time.
Yeah, but I haven't said hi properly. I'm gonna say hi properly to all my chatting friends.
Let's say hi properly then.
Let's get the list going here. This is where you need.
Who we got here? Oh,
Mads to read off the list for us.
Yeah, we used to having the third party here. I'm gonna try to go back to the top, make sure I don't forget somebody. We got Crazy Rabbit.
We got the Tight Grill. Grr.
We got a couple of lurking gherkins. You already know. We got a few private phone calls today, and a lot of people like what we're doing, and it's making them very happy. And it's nice to hear when they make private phone calls to you, just to let you know how special you are and what you do for their mental health. And they're most of the time lurking gherkins.
Lurking gherkins.
We got Doommonger in the house.
There's two couples that out there, man and wife.
Kent Spong is in the house.
Talking to you two. We love you very much.
Uncle Chrome is always in the house. Uncle Chrome is the damn staple to the show, which I was watching that podcast or that YouTube channel you suggested from. I like it.
Doommonger. You are a manga for doom.
For doom. See who else we got in here.
Hey, Gracie.
Gracie's in.
Oi, Gracie.
She's not lurking, gherkin. Awkward Teeth and Hair Productions.
Viral Bizzle.
I love that fucking moniker. Viral Beats.
Haven't seen you in a while, Sean. I wonder if you.
Sure, baby.
We're not. Breathalyzer. We're not getting any of his
notifications. Even though the bell is ringing. But I go on his channel now because I don't trust it.
Right.
And I'll just go and listen because I don't trust the notifications anymore.
He's one of our favorite jazz artists. If you guys don't know about Breathalyzer, get over there.
Yeah, I don't want to call him smooth jazz. I don't want to label him. But for us,
it's smooth jazz.
Yeah, and it's
nice.
I'm still trying to figger out a way if we can work with Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rourke is in the house. Roy, Droy, Void.
What's
my boy?
What's up, Sammy?
Prometheus. Yeah, I don't get Synth Samurai notifications anymore. So if you guys don't get those notifications, you might want to recheck your phone. YouTube is doing some crazy shit. Groove Alchemist. Is Scotty coming in? I don't know. Scotty did us some justice along with Kent, Steve, Viral Beats.
They kept the channel going while we was on the
Cosmic
hiatus.
Groove Chemist, whatever.
Groove Chemist. All of you know who you are, responsible for keeping this shit upright. Steve.
Rourke had my brother and I entertained while we was on the road. Thank you, Rourke, for that. I know we was the only ones in your comment box, but hey, we got to do for people nowadays. We can't do for all you all the time, but when we catch you, we'll do you. We'll do you to the end.
I don't like how we say we'll do you, but, we'll be there in support.
Yeah, we'll do you in the butt.
Oh, man.
Maybe not that far.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's quick. You didn't even, no build up. It was going great until you said that.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. That's because Scotty ain't in here to keep the monkeys under control. Normally, Scotty takes the job of Maryland, and, well, shit, you were there. You know.
You've seen it.
We did I think we did like a 20-minute ambient jam just now. If you guys missed it, go ahead and go back. We're trying to take this show into, do a bit of music in the beginning and then share the time with a quick podcast.
And just come up with shit on the fly.
So
see where it goes.
Taking a new approach, always thinking and always moving and doing.
You can only get better if you just keep improvising every day, right? I mean, you have to think that you're bound to hit a tune or a certain key structure that you like.
Just waiting for my favorite Scotsman to get his ass back on the show, but he's taking a vacation, I guess. I don't know.
Oy.
But he deserves it.
Oy.
Put in work 4 days while busy at home, juggling other shit. Thank you, Scotty.
This
you
man
juggling master.
This man can work 2 jobs and juggle his nut bag all in the same time.
Nick Destruct.
And so can Nick. Nick can juggle his own nut bag doing multitasking as well. I've seen him do it.
Yeah, Nick got a green thumb too. That dude is outdoors like a motherfucker.
Dr. Green Thumb.
Gracie got a green thumb too.
Does she really?
Yeah, she does. Did you say Synth Samurai?
I said Sammy.
Synth Summer High.
What's this? What's this here? I mean, shit, how's everybody doing?
We're on 226, y'all.
226.
Damn.
It's time. It's time to.
It's around the corner.
Yeah, it's time to evaluate.
She's coming. That year is coming, people.
This is the weekly evaluation of acknowledging how many days we're doing here. 226. Yep, I'm thinking about it.
Welcome back, Diablo. It's good to see your name regularly in the chat now.
Damn.
Looks like you want to be a part of Monkey Island.
George G's.
George G's. Everyone's super fan is in the house.
I think George G's monkey name is going to be Monkey Traveler.
Monkey Traveler. I like that.
I like that too. Every time this dude, he's in, and if your music is not bumping and it's not slapping in George G's truck, in the Monkey Traveler's truck,
Monkey Traveler,
then it's probably whack. Then it's probably whack. If your tunes don't slap hard in George G's truck, it's probably whack, because George G's don't allow whack shit in his truck. Because that shit's played, yo. He knows what I'm talking about. Simon, you owe me some money, sir. Well, not per se money, but you owe me a gym. A gym of your riches in a groove.
You always scare the shit out of me. Like, I just happened to go back there and look to see if anyone's in the green room, and I swear sometimes you be trolling us, doing some creepy shit.
Well, fuck you too.
Okay, well, hey, guess I had that coming.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay. Yeah, Yo-Yo and other children's toys.
Yo-Ho and what is it? Bottle of rum?
Bucket full of shit.
Bucket full of shit.
Something like that. I don't know. How are you doing, gentlemen?
We are good, sir. And
have you recovered from your long trek?
I mean, we're working on it.
It took longer than what it would normally take. Like, getting old and jet lag, you start to feel the age.
I know what you're thinking, Kent. You're probably like, oh, you twat.
I feel like that if I run anywhere.
Well, hey, we did a 5-mile walk today to get back into the nature of things. Now that spring is kind of hiatus and summer's here.
Yeah.
We're
well, what you call miles, I call feet.
Oh, well, we're trying to get back to the 12-mile mark a day.
Yeah, 12 feet is about my limit.
Kent, you gotta live a little. You gotta get outside.
You gotta push yourself, buddy.
So you have to push yourself.
I've seen the garden. It looks all right.
I tell you what, if I was there, I'd just bust down your fucking door. I'll pick you up in my arms like we're off to get married. Now we'll just work it out.
Sweep me off my feet, will you?
100%.
A dashing dark gentleman at the door.
Yes. And I'll kick it in. And I'll kick it in with platforms and bell bottoms and go, where that Kent bitch at? Pick you up off your feet and take you outside, and I'll stroke your hair back and whisper sweet nothings in your ear.
Don't neglect the balls. No, well, good. I'm glad you're all back on track again anyway.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay.
And it all went well, did it?
It did.
Yeah, everything went great.
And I'm so proud of my boy, man.
Yeah.
He's
absolutely.
He's going to be a seaman, and
I mean, not like a seaman.
Not like a seaman.
But like a seaman.
A seaman.
Yeah.
Twice.
Like a marine type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
A Navy man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably a better term.
Yeah.
We're
at him.
I don't think we told you guys we're at lunch, and maybe we did tell the story. We were at lunch, and then the server for his little ceremony for his swearing in, we went to go have lunch. The waiter says, "Well, thank you for your service." And I could see the look on Dylan's face because I'm sitting right across from him, and he looks perplexed. He looks like a deer in the headlights. And when the waiter leaves, he goes, "Why did he say thank you for my service?" And then we all kind of looked at Dylan and was like, "Okay, man. Okay. So you have no idea what's going on right now. You just swore your whole soul to the government, and you promised to upkeep the oath of office, and you signed your name, and you still think that you're a civilian, or they don't have like Dylan. Do you realize what you just done today?
You are now government property.
Like, I don't think you realize what you've done. He's like barely not even 18 yet, and it's just like I think it's going to kick in."
When he gets to boot camp,
I think it's going to kick in nice and hard for him. Yeah.
I mean, I would question the particular government he's going to serve, but
we can always do
but
that.
But that shouldn't take anything away from his
experience.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
at the end of the day, he said he needed structure. He was lost. I'd much rather him do that than drugs, alcohol, or find himself in a very...
Yeah, it's very easy for them to fall through the cracks.
Yes.
Especially these days, mate.
Yeah. Jeez, tell me about it.
And then
Uncle Chrome in the chat was saying if I woke up one day and my agoraphobia was gone, where would you drive the Mustang first?
Ooh.
Knowing my luck, probably into a fucking tree. Because they're not very good at go around bends, let's face it.
Yeah.
Mustangs don't do bends.
I heard and I'm going to ask this question because I don't know, and this is gonna lead us into today's topic. But I heard you were working under the car and it crushed you, or
No. What it was, I was under the car for sure. I was undoing the bumper bolt because the bumper has to come off to give me access to the wing because I was trying to take the wing off. It's one of those conundrums the way the car's built and designed, and it just. I'm doing undoing the last nut, and the bolts are through the brackets. I mean, technically it shouldn't be going anywhere, but it did. It just went shrink and come off, and it landed on me. And it's surprisingly heavy.
Well,
as on closer inspection afterwards, I did find out that the reason it was so heavy was it was technically a fiberglass wrapped girder.
What?
On the Mustang, it's literally a fucking girder. And then they have this nicely shaped fiberglass framework that it sits on. And it was a little on the heavy side.
Ooh.
And it wasn't so much the weight, it was the number plate getting me in the stomach first, and then it rolling, and then the number plate coming down on me dick.
Well.
And I was there for quite a while just trying to get my breath back more than anything else.
God damn.
So
you don't have enough excitement in your life, huh? Is that what it is?
I really wasn't expecting it to come off. Not that easily. I was expecting I was going to have a struggle getting it off, and it didn't. It just suddenly went, and it really didn't look like it was going to go because I'm normally more careful than that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just and it went and it came down, and it was only because these bolts are the nuts on the bolts are so far into the bumper that you have to come in from underneath and get right in there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been under there. I'd be outside and doing it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And and it just suddenly went. Well, probably simply because of its sheer weight, and it was ridiculously heavy.
Well, you got to be careful, Ken. Stop pressing the freaking envelope. We like you around just a little longer.
But I mean, everything about the car itself. It's that 70s American opulence. Which is what attracted me to the car in the first place. I mean, once the wing was off, I stood the front wing next to me, and I'm 5'11", right? And I'm standing there with the wing beside me, right? And the top of the wing, standing upright like that, is about here, above me, a good foot above my head. So the wing's getting on to being 7 foot long. And then there's all the bumper goes on the front of that. It's a huge car.
Right.
I love it.
And it's metal. It's not really.
It's very, it's thick steel as well. It's not like fucking almost transparent shit they build with cars with now.
Right. What is it, like plastic or fiberglass or some shit?
Well, I mean, the steel that they use now, I think it's point.
It's almost like plastic.
I think it's 0.8 mil or something.
Anything dents it.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
a tin can.
On the Muzzy, it's between 2 and 3 mil.
You fuck me.
Right.
It's and there's girders inside the doors.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
you've seen a rig. Do you imagine what
Yeah.
that was? You get sideswiped by a rig
Right.
at a crossroads. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want a girder between you. And
Yeah,
that
you
bloody
do.
thing,
Yeah.
You do.
You know, so
do.
and you know, anybody who's seen Gone in 60 Seconds, the original one, not the Nicolas Cage ripoff. The shit that car goes through, and it's still running at the end, and still
Yeah.
kind of looks like a Mac 1 as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It can really take the shit, but it also comes with, unfortunately, weight.
Yeah. We just built shit better back then, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was, but it was the cars were a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
Well,
yeah, it was.
But you go on YouTube now, and you're watching out like the Idiots on the Road series they do on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and all the cars look the same.
Yeah. You ever look
They-
on the highway? You ever look on the highway and just see how every car kind of matches the person driving it? Like it looks like they would be driving that car.
Right.
There are certain personalities that seem to go with certain makes and models as well. Yeah, for instance. Yeah, I mean, you think, oh no, it's just sort of like a urban law, folklore thing. But no, there are BMW drivers who really don't know what that fucking stick on the column's supposed to do.
Right.
It's, well, I go up, I hear it click up, and I hear it click down. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. I'll leave it alone. Yeah, who needs indicators anyway?
Who does?
Right. They're
Yeah,
just
exactly.
suggestions.
They don't need
But it
them in the
seems to-
Mad Max movie, Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems to be something with BMW drivers more than others. It appears,
Well,
like,
here in the States, there's this fad that goes on, and it's mainly in metropolis cities. You see these guys; they drive around these lifted trucks, right? These
Yeah.
Chevys. They're all lifted and jacked up and swooped up on 35 tires, and none of them shocks, struts, ball joints, leaf springs. Everything is immaculate. Tires are brand new. They're not even using these trucks for their actual purpose, which is 4x4ing off road.
Reinforced
Right?
pitman arms.
You see them at grocery stores often. You see them at the gym, but they're not even using the truck for its purpose. It's a statement. It's the someone said this too. When you look at someone who buys a vehicle, the vehicle is a reflection of their ego.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And you can see it, like the big macho buff dude comes out, the big fucking truck, and it's just, he's big, he's bold, he's got to make a statement. Versus the nerd guy you see that's just coming out of a business class meeting. He's driving like maybe a fucking Toyota or a Prius. Like it's,
Yeah.
vehicles are very reflective of us. And I guess our
Right, because
instruments
you want to buy personalized.
Right, yeah.
Everything wants
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
customized.
Yeah, tailored to yourself.
Tailored to you. You want to be different. Everyone wants to be different. But before we go down that topic, I had a topic already set for today. Let's go in it. Today is going to be about control.
Oh yeah.
How much control do you think you have over your life, if any?
The illusion of control, eh? Okay. Yes, you have a control over your life after you have dealt with all the control on your life.
So is
The
that
control,
a thing?
the
Is that a-
control
is that
on
a
your
thing?
life must be dealt with first,
As your head.
and then the rest is yours.
Wait a minute, Kent. Come on.
I mean, you're going too fast, Ken.
All
Break
right,
it
okay.
down-
Well, let's
break it down
let's break
layman's
this down.
terms.
Let's break
Okay.
this down for the American folks here.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Do it.
You know we're
All right.
slow. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Come on
Like-
in, come on in, Asif.
Lean in here, Cletus.
You should have
Okay.
you should have a link.
You should have a link. Yeah.
I think what I mean by that is, you have control, i.e., freedom within your life. But certain criteria must be met first. So there are dues that have to be paid. There are laws that have to be followed.
Life taxes is what I call them.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this bill that comes with society. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these rules of life. Now, once these are met, the rest of that is your freedom. your life to control within the sphere that is granted you. If you follow.
I'm following.
So when we talk generally about, freedom and control of your life, there are so many aspects to it that have different importance to different people.
Are you like speaking on like some Geppetto, Pinocchio type shit?
Like a marionette?
Like, is it
I wouldn't compare it to being, literally a puppet, on a string kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I put it? Like with my life, I have the freedom, for argument's sake, to own 2 cars, but I have to pay faceless people,
right,
money every year. For the privilege of being able to own those cars.
Which is out of your control.
Exactly. They even set the price.
Right.
Right? There's rules on the road. You can't just, you come up to a roundabout and go, fuck it, it's a Thursday, I feel bored, I'll try going round the roundabout the wrong way. Because, hey, I'm in control of my life.
Yeah, yep, you're in
I
control.
drive where I fucking want.
Yep.
Yeah, you just end up with a smashed up car and a lot of angry people shouting at you.
Right.
So you don't have control to do that. But instead of seeing it as controlling your life, in many respects it is, if everybody else is doing it, it nullifies control over your life.
Right.
So what is left is actually the control you have over your life. You get, generally, in our society, we have the freedom to choose who we wish to spend the rest of our lives with, whether it be male, whether it be female, whatever. But you will have control from your family. You may have your family disagree with who you want to be with.
So I kind of feel like you're blending control with choice.
Control is about choice.
You got to have self-control to make a good choice. Yeah.
Well, no, you see, to be able to choose what you want to do means you have the freedom to do that. But there's things if you choose that it goes against the boundaries of your freedom, you end up in prison. You could go, I choose to be, I don't know, a car thief. Why pay for cars when you can just steal them? But there's a consequence to that, and that's the control on your life. You do not have the freedom to go stealing cars. Control and freedom are they're part of the same coin. Both sides, 2 sides of the same coin.
Yeah, but you have to perceive one side of the coin at a time. So therefore, that's a whole different set of rules when you're just perceiving one side of the coin, right? Because you can't look at front and back. So there has to be a separation of the two, even though it's from the same body.
Well, for instance, if you were going to say, all right, what you say about control, right? You've got to look at, what are you talking about here when you're talking about control? Are you talking about freedom of choice? So
okay.
Control and freedom are 2 sides of the same coin.
Okay,
you see what I mean?
Okay, Kent. Rabbit said, "Am I being controlled to stay tuned in to this live stream?"
No.
That's a straight up question right there.
No, he has the freedom to leave the show, but he also may find that he misses something that might be of value to him, although probably not. Just saying, but he has the freedom to go, but he might miss out on something, right? But that's his choice, and he has the freedom to make that choice. Right?
I'm kind of with Roy Droy Void. Part of the issue is our choices are pre-programmed, which is true because we're taking in substance, we're taking in influence.
Yes, that's true of everything in our lives, surely.
Yeah.
Why do you think people kind of stress out when things are out of their control, like you're driving down the street and a car hits you from behind, and you're so upset.
It's your brand new car.
It's your brand new car, and you just like it's instead of letting it just slide and say that was an accident, it was out of that person, your control. It was going to happen to you. If we know this, if we can talk about it, we can physically, or we are verbally talking about this. Why do we accept to stress out over it? Why do we kind of choose to go through that emotion?
I think it's probably the inconvenience more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, because to you at the time it feels like somebody's just taken a big shit in your noodles, really.
Right.
You know.
And I understand all that.
You see, but you know, when we were talking about control on our lives, there's also benefits to that, because the control on your life designates that you can't drive on the road without insurance, which covers you against some idiot running into the back of you. So you're not going to be out of pocket.
Right.
So this is where these things, they tend to run hand in hand. And we give them labels, but at the end of the day, it's just life.
Right.
And if you want to live in a society, you've got to follow its rules.
And life has some, I mean, it has some finicky ass rules, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like we have to go through these emotions. Like there's no fucking way around it unless you're that far shamanistic guru type where you've learned to manage all your emotion.
Yeah.
Which I still believe even gurus and whoever think they're above human are still fucking struggling with something, sir. Like no one can leave here unscarred.
But we do, you know, most societies will end up, especially in what we call the free world, we'll have, you know, stupid rules. And the reason for that is that we vote stupid people to come up with these rules for us.
Okay, hang on. Let's get to some of these chats because we're missing out some stuff here. Bicky says, but can we not reprogram ourselves, Trusto? We can definitely reprogram ourselves.
But it takes work.
I mean, you just have to know ahead of time what we want to reprogram ourselves to do. And if you don't have the right roadmap for that, the reprogramming can't even start. And that's we can reprogram, but there's so much before that. There's so much before that. Roy Droid Void says, you are conditioned from birth to know what choices are and what choices someone like you will make.
It's very dystopian, isn't it?
I mean, that's deep in itself. I mean, it's another way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I like 1,000 angles to one approach.
Who loves you, baby? Yeah.
Yeah, who loves you, baby? Kojak.
I loved his Buick.
All right, let's think of it this way. Let's say, I don't know, how many people on Earth now? 6 billion?
Yeah.
Roughly. I think more than that. It's like
Okay,
8
so
to
let's
8
just
billion.
say, all right, I don't know, 6 billion things moving around other than
Yeah.
us. All the animals moving around. And then there's us, okay?
Yeah.
How much influence are we even having on all these actions, right? Almost nothing. I think we have almost no control, except maybe in our own little imagination, right?
Yeah.
So we have.
Dave, real quick, can you turn your mic down just a fuzz? We
Oh, that's the first time that's happened.
right there.
Right there.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah.
You know how these it's funny. You know how those interfaces work? They have like you turn them, the mic, you can't hear it, and then the gain just shoots up.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice.
Yeah, that's clean now.
All right. So I don't think we have almost any control. I think it's an illusion. And I think when we recognize that we have no control is when we find true happiness, or on some level.
Yeah, you're able to let go, right?
Yeah.
You're able to
If
let.
you're able to let go and understand that ultimately it is what it is,
Mm.
right? I think it's kind of one of the big secrets. I don't think we have much, but I know in the greater scheme of things, right? Um, that's why on some level, I think art is great, because art is the one place where we just have
Can,
this little inkling of control.
okay, Dave, you really, I didn't bring this topic up for no fucking reason.
Right.
You're gonna have to really explain how
Oh
you.
boy.
Yes.
I mean, but
I mean, I get what you're saying.
get what you're
Don't get me
saying.
wrong. It's not like I'm not
I'm gonna bring
following you,
Teddy
but
back.
you're gonna have to break that control down too, because it's a finicky thing what we think control is, and if we possess it or not.
I'd even argue, does it really matter?
I don't know if
Well,
it does or doesn't. I mean,
yeah,
but
that-
it is a very fascinating thing to
It
contemplate.
affects a
Okay,
lot of
wait,
people's
break
lives.
it down again. Give it to me again, Lamont. So how do I have to change what I said?
No. I don't
No,
think
no,
you have to change it.
not to
I don't
change
mean
it.
change. How do I have to
Just come at it with a different
Reframe.
approach. Reframe it.
Reframe,
And
yeah.
yeah, just reframe it if you can.
but reframe it in what context?
In the context of, if you're doing, let's just say you're painting a picture, okay? And this is your pastime, and you want to give up control. I think that's your goal, is to give up control.
Mhm.
Or are you trying to possess more control?
I think we're trying to accept that
Because
we have
that
control.
that just doesn't seem like
I mean,
just-
even if we think about the end product of what we create, it's
Mhm.
really just it really isn't anything new. It's just oh, I tell you, I guess I try to think about it. All right, let's say I get up right now and I just start walking. I walk out of the house,
Mhm.
I walk down the street, and I just keep walking. At what point is life going to, at what point is the outcome already determined,
Hmm.
right? So I can pick where I start to walk.
Right.
But even that, I have pretty few choices before I get slammed by a car, I run into a fence, run into a tree. So I can move a little bit, then I'm going to get tired, then I'm going to collapse from exhaustion. And then I have no control probably. I don't know, like I can't get that far.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
see
know
what
that's
you're
not the best
saying.
analogy.
No,
but-
no,
but I see
but
what
that's
you're
the
saying.
but that's the construct,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
There's a barrier with this question we can't seem to push past.
and it affects it, here's why control is so interesting, because it affects like over, I want to say, probably close to 100% of the population. Everybody feels they have some sort of control of how their life turns out. Even if you make these choices, the reaction out of your control. You got a great job, your boss decides to fire you, that's out of your control.
Right.
You'll melt down, you'll freak out, you'll stress out. I got to find a new job. What am I going to do? And you're freaking out over something that is out of your control. And even if we know this, because we know it, we talk about it, we still choose to go and let it affect
Yeah,
us.
Gru Kim has said we dress control as leadership.
I like that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I agree, but I like it.
I
Yeah.
like
I mean,
it.
I'm not sure if
Mm.
I'm saying I haven't thought it out yet.
Yeah, I'm still
No,
thinking
no,
on it right
I
now.
like where he's going, or she.
And our leadership is
he,
a form of
it's He's a he.
I feel
And our leadership is a
Not
form of
even.
control, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the whole point of them being there in the first place.
exactly. So on the TVs, it's everything we buy, we consume material. It's a form of control. It's a distraction. They can control our minds.
Yeah. But we can choose whether we're controlled by it.
That's the thing. If it's funny to say that, Ken, because I think just like you sometimes. I really do.
Yeah.
But when you think like that and you're just like, okay, great. Kent and I are on the same pace. My brother, probably most of chat in here. Why the fuck is everybody else not waking up so we can make this choice very easy?
You want to come in on this topic, Gracie?
Like, how come we can't just and this is what I'm talking about, where it's out of our control. It's out of our control that people still choose to not want to wake up and not go with the machine. As much as I want people to wake up, or as much as I want to try to change somebody, I can't do that. That's out of my control. I have to wait for that person to make that change. And I think it's so hard to let that shit go because you probably care that much. But when someone tells you no, or you're fired, or you can't, and it's out of your control, I would like to see people just not be affected by it, and just like Dave said, just fucking let things happen and just see what type of world it is. Get hit by the car that inconveniences you and let it roll off your shoulder. How hard is that? That's a choice, but how hard is that?
Yeah, I mean, great.
it's like so I was in Portland for a couple of days.
Wait, hold
That's your
that.
fault.
Hold that thought 1 second. I just don't want to I don't want to miss chat. They've been busy here. Gracie says I can't even control my damn synthesizers, which is true. Some of them just do what the fuck they want. Soma
She bought a
Labs.
Soma.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lyra 8.
Soma and Elta Music.
Well, we got up. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, let me get through this. Biscuit thought we were talking about something else. Freedom. Nope, we're talking about control,
No.
Biscuit.
We're talking about bowel movements.
Out of your control sometimes.
Cheech
I have no control over my bowel movement.
That's called incontinence. Okay, Cheech said, what did Cheech? Where did it go?
No, it's called shitting myself.
It's out of yourself. Control is out of yourself.
Control is out of yourself. It really is.
It's out of.
Yeah, if you think about it, control is out of yourself.
To be honest, I never really want to think about it.
Yeah. If you check out, this is Crazy Rabbit. If you check out because you feel it's out of your control, you made a choice. If you feel in control to stay in the game, that was a choice.
Well, we know that we hear that saying some people have control issues, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
what does that typically mean? That means someone who
I want
feels-
control of the remote. I want to control where the
Yeah.
car goes. I want to control what we eat for dinner. Yeah.
I'm in control here.
Yeah.
But then some people can just sit in the driver's seat or the passenger seat. Sorry. Maybe just drifting around. Where are we going? I don't know. You know how we got there? I don't know.
Well, wanting to be in control of everything actually makes you a prisoner of yourself.
I do think, for some reason, my sense is the more you try to be in control, the worse things get, generally speaking. That's my intuition or whatever speaking, right? That's always been my philosophy on some level, that the more when I've observed people that really needed control, that was usually created discomfort for them. Although on the flip side is sometimes they have a minor ability to impact things by disruption, and so maybe there was a little control there, or was it a collective thing?
You probably lose self-control because that's why they get upset. Is because their expectations were not met, And because they can't control the situation, it gets them down and out, and they get frustrated because they can't control what's going on in their lives. And for some people, that's it's so hard to not have control over.
Okay,
your
Gracie
life.
says, all I can control is my own behavior towards myself and towards others. And the car.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Yep. But she can't control how they respond to it. That's out of her
you can't
control.
even control the car because it can just break down.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, but here we go again. You know, it's a god awful cycle of trying to understand something that I don't even think we have any business trying to understand. It's an endless construct of possibilities and variables.
And can we control our own behavior? Can we truly do that? I think we try to.
I think in the moment, like Gracie's saying, if maybe she meets someone for the first time in a grocery store or something, and she can control what she's going to say emotionally to this person.
But
hello,
yeah,
hi,
but not really how you're feeling, right? Like we were just having this discussion with my son, because he'll say something like, "Well, I don't care what they think," or something along those lines.
But I don't think you have to, David. I think.
Well, I'm saying as far as the control aspect, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he even can control that.
Oh yeah.
That's
I see
what
what
I
you're saying.
meant.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what
wow.
can we even? We certainly become masters
At fooling ourselves.
of showing this, not, allowing things to. I mean, it's almost like the more we try to. Yeah.
It's just a human emotion, man. I think the emotion that comes from it is everything. The way the physiological sense it makes you feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just it all comes back to emotions.
Well,
as
let's
well.
look at it this way, even more. We don't control our bodies completely. Forget about the poo-poo stuff.
Right.
But isn't that a muscle reflex though? Like we naturally breathe like that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like there's a lot going on. Like we've talked about, you go to bed,
Right.
you sleep, and there's this repair. So
on a cellular level, we don't have much control, you think, on the cellular level within our bodies.
yeah, so are we just getting to the point where we're getting at a certain intellect where we're starting to recognize that we're not in control and it's freaking us out?
Mm-hmm.
So we're living in a manner to resist that, like dying, right?
That's definitely out of your control.
I know.
Right.
That's a finite. Well, as far as
out
the
the
physical
freaking-
form, yeah. As far as the
Pulled out
physical
rock,
form,
man.
yeah.
Moved across
And
the board.
And I am so happy I was waiting for you to get to that. I'm so happy to know that everyone here right now, with us right now, in about 70, 80 years, we will no longer fucking be here.
Yeah. Across
70,
the board,
80
regardless
years?
of age.
Right.
You know, we're likely to do 7.
We would
7 to 70.
well, I'm trying to like get the whole general age group in here.
Yeah,
but
a
Account
broad,
for AI. whatever.
Yeah.
a broader
But-
audience.
But think about this, gentlemen. Our conversation right now, it's already in the past, right? We're already gone.
Okay. Don't take us down this route.
I'm just saying. If you think about it, with time passed,
Let's stay with control, because that's a total different.
it is. But it led that way, and it's got me thinking, man.
Oh, this
We don't-
thinking thing, it don't suit you, mate.
It does. We don't have, but Asif hit it. We don't have control. Here's one thing that's out of our control that we're all going to experience, one way or another, is death. We will die here. We're going to die here.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
It's
fucking
quite
Christmas.
likely the way
Now,
we're heading.
now listen to me, boys. Okay, I don't truly know what's out there in the great beyond. Okay, out of my control, but I know one thing: it's inevitable, and I'm going to face it.
Yeah.
Now, if that doesn't fucking sink home with you
Yeah.
right now, and you forgot that you die,
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, some of us who aren't financially off, some of us who are financially sound and secure, some of us who are still chasing dreams and chasing future employment or self-discovery or you know, anything when we go to sleep at night or just before we go to sleep at night. I know I'm not the only one thinking about how to obtain certain goals, and how to obtain these things takes the control factor into a higher state.
Yeah.
Because you want to have a ultimate plan of controlling the situation to achieve this higher goal. And it's almost like we have deja vu just before we lay down and we ponder all of our events of the day, the past, try to perceive the future. Control always enters the room with that. I think what Biscuit is saying is basically fear. It's a question he's posing.
is control fear?
Control is that thing that we don't want to shake for the life of us. And we have amnesia every time we go, we can't control it anyways. But as soon as you ponder the next step, what you want to do, how you want to be, control enters the room. Well, again, I have to be able to control these variables
And you think
to make it there.
and you think about those steps, and they never go according to the way you thought about it, which is again out of your control how these things are going to play out. You can play them out in your mind, but it definitely never plays out that way.
Yeah.
Does control, I guess control includes how we view the world. Like
It
I
has
believe
to
in a
be.
God, and then all of a sudden I don't believe in a God. Like, here's where I was going with it. I was thinking about when I got fired, and there's that moment where you're almost out of body, and we call it surreal.
Yeah, you
Surreal
can't believe
moment.
this is happening to you. Yeah.
So what? And I was tying it in with Lamar about because he mentioned it. So I was trying to think. So in that moment, why was it surreal to me?
Mhm.
Right? Was it because the control I thought I had over this part of my life was an illusion, right?
Right.
Because what I was finding out that for a few months, maybe even before that, it was already set in stone that life was going to change, but I had no idea. But so it is kind of like dissociation. But I'm wondering, it's a defense mechanism to trauma, but is part of trauma lack of control, right? Yeah, there's something there. I know there is. I can feel it. There's something between the lack of control, right? We could go into bad things that happen, right? And there's a correlation of not having control, right? Or losing a sense of control and how that affects us. So it feels really deep, but you're right, Lamont. On another level, we enjoy it. Like the idea that we don't have any control also kind of sucks, right? Like, well, I was going to plan this. Well, it doesn't matter because it may not happen. Like, yeah, I know, but I have some control, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
What?
But surely control is basically an illusion anyway, like you say.
Can't
It
100%.
It might be.
Damn.
My whole thing about that, and again, it is an illusion. When we play a god awful trick on ourselves, my whole thing about it is, do we have the power not to fucking stress and beat ourselves up and let it change us? Like, do we have the power to do that? Do we have the power to let go of control fully and not let it affect us?
I don't think it's something. It's kind of a state that you can neither ignore or be a
achieve.
part of simultaneously. It's.
Mm.
I mean,
So,
you could say, "Oh, look, I have the control over my life to choose what it is I want to do." and I have this control. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going from A to B. Nothing's going to get in my way. This is my goal, and I will take that. I've taken my life in my hands, and I'm controlling myself, and off I go, and walk out in front of a truck. End of. Where was your control? It was never really there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. You just perceived you had some form.
Yeah. So you can have an idea. You can follow an idealism. Mm-hmm. I could sit here and go, I want to be on a black only girls basketball team. Right? There is no way that control or any control that I have over my life is going to allow that to happen in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So the control thing doesn't exist. It's just an illusion. It's just a word I'm putting in front of me to spur me on to try.
Right.
And knowing it's not going to happen, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
right.
So why does it fucking affect us?
So Tigro said, is
smoke and mirrors.
Is it the need for control? Is the need for control a byproduct of the ego?
Shit.
I happen to believe what Kent has said is like, to me, that sums it up. It's an illusion. It's something we keep in front of us as a placeholder.
Well, yeah, I mean, but most things in our lives are placeholders. Right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're just looking at a random system of events, one after the other, going, does anybody know what the fuck is going on? Anybody? Anybody, right? So you've got to go, right, you have these little posts that you put in, and you go, right, make your way to that post. Ignore all this, get to that post, right? And that is the illusion of control. And you either get to that post or you don't. If you get to the post, you go, hey, see, I'm in control of my life. But you're still not. You just luckily got to the post. If you don't get to the post, oh, I didn't have control of my life. No, you just didn't get to the post. So like I say, when you and like I was saying earlier about being, if you want to be in a society, you have to adhere to the controls put upon you by that society to make it work. Sometimes it's a little bit weird and stupid, but there it is, right? So you're not in control of that. What you're doing is handing over your illusionary control over to allow you to be within that society, which you then deem being your control over your life.
Which is, I mean, shit. Would you say stress is a byproduct of control?
It can be. I mean, stress. I mean, stress comes from fucking everything.
Right.
Stress comes from existing.
Yeah, they're correlated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all part. It's all part of the fabric. It's all part of you.
Mm-hmm.
So that
some people have less stress than you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people deal with the stress better than you.
Right.
But we
Or
have
not
something.
as well as you.
Right.
I mean, I can go, okay, I'm going to hit the table. I did it, right? And then I could say I'm going to hit the table again. No, I'm not. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I
Table
think I
goes,
controlled
"Thank
that
fuck."
situation. I think I did, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So there's something there, but I get back to how small we are in the context of everything. So, we do, it's always like, I know you've had this thought, I'm sure you have, and I used to have this, you're at the ball game and you start to go, I wonder if I push this person here and they have a reaction and somehow it disrupts everything. Does this disrupt the game ultimately? Like, does it, how far to where I could have, are we all affecting each other like in just such real time that it's just too, is it impossible to even comprehend? You know what I mean? Like, the outcomes, am I part of the outcome by my movements?
Unless there was some divine plan, like we're all writing out this pre-written story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
history would suggest not.
Because we're certainly, well, okay, well, let's, when you're in a state, when you're meditating, are you losing control or gaining control?
Well, when I meditate, I gain control over my respirations by putting myself at a 4-6 second pattern. I'll breathe in for 6 seconds. I'll hold for 4 seconds. I'll breathe out for 6 seconds. I'll hold for 4 seconds. That's a controlled pattern. And it puts
Yeah, but I could do that as well, but not be meditating.
Right, but
I just decide to do that.
But he's asking, like, while meditating, are you giving control or letting control?
I think there's a form of control while meditating too, because you're trying to control your thoughts. You're trying to disassociate from your thoughts,
Right,
in your everyday life. That's a form of trying to control that within.
mm-hmm.
Are you trying to?
You're trying to steal the mind. You're trying to, in essence, control something that can't be controlled.
They're just trying to, you're trying to bypass something just so you can have.
So by definition, control is dominance.
So if you're going to say that, Ken, then it's definitely an ego. It's tied to the ego.
Yeah, so control is power. Power
Ego.
is control.
Yeah.
But why is there that
But even
saying?
the power is illusionary because the control is.
Okay, but why is there that saying, just give up control and your life will be
Just
easy.
roll with the punches. Don't stop fighting.
Flow with the river.
Give it up. Just
You
let
think
it
that
go.
you think that's been said for just like to make someone feel better, or is there actual weight and gold behind that?
Metaphor.
Just give up control metaphor.
Well, yeah, giving up an imaginary concept is probably a good idea.
Good night, Simon.
Less stress. Good night, Simon.
Yeah.
Less stress. There's that.
Yeah.
There's that accompanied
Well, I
companion.
mean, the flip side is we also are very good about promoting control, right? You can be whoever you want to be.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, don't let, if you want to be happy, you choose to be happy, right?
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? If you say that
forgetting about
amongst a group of
genetics or
people,
anything else. Yeah.
you say that amongst a group of people, and they go, if you want to be happy, you just be happy. And they
Everyone
lean into you and go, you've read a book with a stupid fucking title in the self-help section, haven't you?
It feels
You paid some
ridiculous.
guy $10 for them to just talk a load of shit into your face. Sort of thing. It always has that ring to it, doesn't it?
But
But
we do have things that make us happy or have a better chance of making us happy.
But at the end of the day, if they don't believe in that shit, that's probably why they're fucked anyway. If you don't think about choosing to be happy, last I checked, happiness isn't a fucking pair of slippers you can just walk right in and you're happy.
I have
Happy
heard
is a-
people say that if you want to be happy, lower your standards.
Your expectations, but
Yeah.
that's,
I mean, I can
but
see
that's,
that.
but
I can
that's,
see that.
and that's change. That's choosing to be happy. If you want to, you have to choose it. And by choosing, I mean if it means lowering your expectations, then that's a choice. You're going to have to want to lower your expectations, or you're going to keep them high.
If you're not willing to bend your line,
Right.
the line you draw, like you could see a fancy rich woman in front of you, don't know squat about her, and then there's another woman who looks mediocre, carries a mediocre job, who looks happy. You go after your expectations, which is the rich woman. You get in that situation and you're like, oh, well, this ain't what I fucking thought it was. And then you look at the other person because your standards were set so high. But if you're willing to bend the standards or manipulate your own standards and come down a little bit and deal with the mediocre individual, man, woman, or whatever, you will find happiness. Like there's something to be said there.
Lamont's message for the day: marry a skank.
I don't know.
She might give you a good wank. I'm just saying. You want a good wank? Marry a skank.
Yeah.
You want
It's
a
like,
good?
it's like the whole
got a point.
Muslim thing about when they die and getting 72 virgins. You go, no, don't you want 72 experienced women?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't want 72 women standing around you going, what the fuck do I do with that? Anybody got any idea? Any ideas?
Yeah, if you're teaching all this, geez, it's taking the fun out of the job.
It's interesting though, when you think about like, well, this is getting into like, when you think about, let's just say, how society looked at a man, right? And there's a big element of ego and control, right? But then you, on one level, and we could probably do the same thing for women. It's just, it's easier for me. However, what's some of the most fun men have, you know, especially as they're getting older, they go to a bar and they all get drunk and lose control, right? Which is kind of ironic that, that's one of the reasons people like drugs so much, is this whole sense of not having control, you know, removing it. I think, not to go into that, I still think control is a construct. I'm still with Kent, probably with everybody actually.
It's just it's smoke and mirrors.
Let me ask you guys
It feels like
this.
smoke and mirrors to me. It really does.
Okay, we're on this topic, and this topic has you know, many subdivisions.
Oh, yes.
So,
Ooh.
with that being said about control, do you believe in mind control? Like literal mind control?
Well, not like it's depicted in science fiction films, but yeah.
Like a hypnotist?
Okay, what do you mean by science, sci-fi?
Well, you know, the whole sort of like, ooh, like they go, yes, master, and you know.
Okay,
no,
zombie, like a zombie, and
but you can manipulate people to think what you want them to think, and those who are really good at it have power over those people.
So you like mentalist
kind of thing, yeah.
But,
I mean, in many ways, I mean, you know, admin are doing it.
But
It's on a different level, but it nonetheless is going on, you know? So, yeah, the manipulation of others' thoughts is relatively straightforward because the human mind is open, very open.
I mean,
it's knowing what to say and when to say it and how to say it.
Yeah.
So is control a human construct?
God damn it, David.
Yeah.
Do you think animals? He's got a point. So, do you think a dog has control? Like, you think a dog can think about if he has control of his situation? He's going to go in and attack another dog. Does he think he has control of? That's instinct. We're talking. God damn! Control is not a human thing. This thing could be just a virus.
What you're doing there? What you're doing there is you're taking the word control, and you're using it instead of the word dominance.
Dominance.
Right,
Well,
which is in the animal kingdom.
If he gets his ass whooped.
I mean, but David's right. David's right, Kent. Where did control even come from? Did we create it?
Yeah, it's a construct.
Uncle Chrome did it.
Uncle Chrome did it.
Yeah, right. We're going around his house.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking
Beat his ass.
pitchfork his ass,
Man.
burn his goddamn house down.
I mean,
it is a construct. Yes, absolutely.
There's people convinced that the Earth is flat, is what Rourke said. Like, that's true. Like, so mind control is definitely can't we all agree mind control is real?
Yeah. I'll go with that because
I get Kent was saying like the movies and stuff. I get that, Kent. I get that. But on mind control is real. Go ahead.
I think we also, though, we might be losing sight that some people are open to be controlled, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because maybe we're not as a group, there may be others that are very much looking to be controlled.
Yeah, it's people who do not want to be in control of their lives. They'd like it all laid out for them.
Laid out for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is life? But what does life look like if we all just gave up control? Like, what does humanity look like?
Ignorance is bliss. I don't know.
Shit.
Well, you see, everybody has to give it up. That means every single person.
Right.
Right.
And
you can't have just some people give it up.
And so what does life look like?
North Korea, if only some of them give it up.
Damn.
I mean,
What does
are we
life
allowed
look
to
like?
Damn.
dinner.
He went
That's-
straight
I think if
third
everybody
world.
gives it up, even though it is a illusionary construct,
Mhm.
I think society would probably fall apart at the seams.
If no, well, are we saying control is ego then? Is
Wait,
it,
hang on. Chat. Do you think mind control can be as deep as the movies where someone can physically control another's mind? Or do you think it's, as what we're saying, it's all perspective and it's all influenced and it's all about what we see,
It's all about what we
what
say.
we hear, what we say? Because that's the bigger question at hand. There's some people that believe it goes deeper than as exactly what you said. That there's a human out there, maybe many, that can physically make you do something you don't want to do.
Well, I see it as this.
Not mentally thinking and have an ideation about something,
Yeah.
but physically
No,
make you cause bodily harm.
Wait, real quick.
No.
I watched a pimp sweet talk a woman who had no skin in the game of wanting to even become a prostitute, and he turned her out just by the power of his words, and due to her chemical makeup or whatever about her gullibility as being a human, accept every word that he was giving her to get her to sell her body for money. Is that control?
That's deep mind control.
What about
Yes,
hypnosis?
but what was the hook? Was it the
Who
money?
knows? Who knows what the hook?
Well, it's
Sit-
more than
situ-
likely going to be the money.
Okay, but situation or not, right?
Scotty says the Holocaust says it all.
He's got her under control.
Yeah, no, see now how the Holocaust come about, right? That, you know, if you follow the whole thing on, this is what's scary about what's going on there now, because it's literally a fucking bloody Holocaust playbook going on. It may be the early stages and it doesn't look like it, but it fucking is. And that's the control, the mind control that the MAGAs have. They are blind to everythime else. So it is doable.
What about
It is
hypnosis,
doable.
though? I had a therapist one time try to hypnotize me, and I was very resistant to it. You know,
Yeah.
very resistant. I hated the idea of it. I fought it as hard as I could
Yeah.
because I did not like the idea of not being aware of my surroundings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because I generally try to view myself as someone who's not trying to control things.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm a defensive controller.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was kind
Yeah,
of...
but you think people go to hypnotists,
hmm
right? They wish to be hypnotized.
So that would get into the theory of that some people... God, it's still hard though, man. It's somehow there's this weird leap that seems to happen where we have a little bit of control and then we just have nothing. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I feel.
Yeah, but I think
It's like,
that's the illusion, though. That's the oasis.
what's the illusion that I have
That's
any,
I
or
think
that it drops?
But that's the oasis, Dave. If you put it in that situation, if you see water out there, you're essentially going to go to it and get a drink, but it's not there. But it got you there. You know what I mean? That's the illusion. No control, zero. That's the outcome of, I think, today's topic. It's going to ultimately be zero. No matter how I look at this word, this placeholder, it ultimately equates to zero.
And if you're
I
taking,
mean, there are layers to it. There are
Yeah,
layers to
don't
it.
get me wrong, but they're tricksy too.
yeah,
Oh yeah. But like what Dave was saying, hitting the table. You have the control to decide to hit the table.
And what velocity hit the table? What
Yeah.
emotion do you hit the table with?
when you
Yeah.
take all the right proper steps in life to get yourself out of a situation that does not sit well with you, and you're taking the proper steps you need to take alone with no one else, and yet you're still in the situation, maybe because it takes time, you got to be a little bit more patient. It's out of your control how long the process takes, or as long as I feel like as long as you're doing what you need to do in life, and everything else that you're doing is out of control, you just have to let it go. There's got to be some point where you can't spend that energy anymore.
You accept it.
And you accept it. But always comes back to this. We can talk about it right now. We'll acknowledge it right here and now. Give it 48 hours. And what do? We fall back into that sense of it's out of my control. How come it's not working out for me? Why is it not doing this? Why are they not listening?
I'm stressing out
I'm
on
stressing
this.
out on it. It's like we choose to go back to this emotional roller coaster.
Oh my God, what are they saying about me?
And it's a waste of energy and time. Shouldn't our energy and time be well preserved around music or talking to a friend, right? Like, so why do we spend these unwanted times in these emotions? They're unwarranted. Is it a learning lesson for the physical human to endure these emotions? Are we supposed to endure these emotions? Is that our nature? Are we supposed to have the ups and downs frequently and submerge ourselves in it?
I think so.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think we do.
I don't
Could you imagine if you didn't have them at all? How fucking boring would your life be?
Oh my God.
Oh, that's the other thing, isn't it?
To subtract one thing that makes us human,
It's just like
you will miss it. You will miss it dearly.
Yeah.
Kent, wait, hold on. So I gotta follow up with what Kent just said. So by you saying that, Kent, you're pretty much saying it's a game, and we choose to play the game, even though we know it's bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors, but we still choose to play the game.
Yeah, it's like when you buy the lottery ticket, your chances of winning, and you fucking know that your chances of winning are so minuscule because you never know.
Yeah,
Right.
we still choose to play the fucking
Yeah.
game.
is that because
So why
But there
bitch
is
about
a-
our emotions? It's like what I'm trying to get at. They're temporary anyway, so why do we give a fuck?
well, I do
Because although it's transitory, but we're there in the moment.
Right.
It's important to us in that, in that moment.
Okay. Can you choose how long you stay in the moment and how to? I'm not saying not have the moment. I'm with you guys 100%. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we just choose to be in the moment a lot lesser of time, so we don't have to waste that?
If
Good
you
energy.
have the emotional strength, yes.
Yes.
I did it with, every member of my family dying within 18 months.
Yeah.
And everything else. And, and I was going through some wow moments. And in the end, I go, do you know what? And I remember saying this. I turned to Fiona and said, let's redecorate the house. She went, really, why? I said, because it'll take my fucking mind off everything. And she went, good idea, let's do it then. And it did. And when it was all decorated and we'd done all the rooms and the garden and everything like that, I went,
That's a choice.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, your choice is decide to do it.
So how come some people can do it easier than others? Isn't that like kind of a disadvantage? Like, is it a hereditary thing? Is it a chromosome thing?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, we will mistake choices as control.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I mean, this is another subdivision of control.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
It's
You ready for
bring
this
it.
one?
It's all relative, goddammit.
cut
And
it
I-
up.
I kind of
Cut it
want I kind of want everyone to be honest about this, because I don't know if we have time to go through the fourth subdivision today. We will revisit this conversation, but I feel like this one is going to be a little bit more
Reflective.
not reflective, but mind fucking.
Okay, mind fuck.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh,
So-
well, my mind hasn't been fucked in ages. I'm desperate. Come on.
Come on.
Okay.
Spit it out.
And be honest, everyone. This is like the time to give up control and fucking be honest. How many times throughout the day do you try to control your significant other or your loved ones? Or maybe it's not even that. A lot of us don't even think it's that, but it is. or how you try to control what they think or how they should feel or what they should do about a certain situation.
That is an interesting question.
And if you're honest with I just want people to be fucking honest, because you can't even, after the topic we had today, you know damn well you can't control a fucking thing. And yourself. But now you have the audacity and the ego to put that on someone else.
So what's the ultimate question?
How often do you find yourself trying to control your significant others, your loved ones?
And how does it make you feel that you can't?
Just, that's the question in itself.
I personally, if I was really honest, will try to steer Fiona down a particular path with an idea or whatever it might be. And it really depends on what mood I'm in. If I'm in one of my belligerent, be a wanker moods, I'll push it, even though I know she won't accept it. But I'll still put the case forward. And we've had some very heated discussions, and voices raised and fingers pointed, which always ends up with one of us bursting out laughing. And that's the end of that. So I make suggestions to Fiona, and she will consider them, and if she thinks they have any merit, we'll go along with it.
I think
if not,
go ahead.
She won't.
I think all couples, not all. I hate saying all. I don't like to generalize, but I think most couples, most people that are together, you're dealing with two personalities, and you're entangled together. You love each other. The one always wants the best for the other when the relationship is right. So for you to have your idea of how their life should take this opinion or a suggestion, as you say, take the suggestion, you have to know that suggestion is just something of your own hopes and dreams and not of that person. But at the same time, when you're entangled together, there has to be like this happy medium, right? This kind of give and take, if it's to last. If it's all one-sided and the other one doesn't want to hear you out, then it's kind of like telling you already that you have no place, you have like no merit there, right? Because if you're not going to entertain the other's suggestion, who you say you love, then why would you continue something like that, right?
Well, if you believe that what you're suggesting is better for them, better for you, then because you care, you want them to have an easier time, so you make the suggestion and push it as hard as you can.
Right. Even though that person may not want to have that suggestion, like depending on their situation, they could just totally say, no, fuck it, I'm not doing that, right? I'm going to do it my way. I mean, I hear you, but I'm going to do it my way. Yeah.
Well, then, with me, I just go, okay, you do it your way, and then we'll discuss how that went for you afterwards.
Right. And that's the good thing about it, Kent. You just said it. You have to be cool. You have to be cool with that. Yeah. Because you're not living that person's life or scenario. So you're going to have to be cool with that, as much as it hurts.
Yes, but she also has the freedom within the relationship to fuck up.
Right.
And in the same way, I have the freedom to fuck up.
To fuck up.
Right.
Yeah. Even
and
if
she wants to, yeah. Right. I mean, it's her. It's still her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if it does turn to shit, and she goes, "Oh, do you know what? I should have listened." I went, "Yeah, well, there you go."
Yeah. That's
and vice versa.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
And that's the beauty of it. I think that's the beauty of patience and communication and having the right partner, number one.
Yeah.
To let that happen.
Sif, we're talking about how often do you find yourself trying to control your significant other? knowing what we just talked about, control and all, how often are you trying to take control over someone else's life knowing you can't even control yours?
Hmm.
I relationships are interesting, aren't they? Um,
Yeah.
it's hard to answer it because I have to kind of unweave the relationship a little bit in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And separate us, which is hard to do. Um, I know when I think of control, um, how would I put this? I don't know. Maybe I just should leave that alone. Not because I don't want to say something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I can add anything because I'm still stuck at this point where I have a little bit, and then it seems to just hit this. It just falls apart.
Mm.
But I'm still stuck with. Is this just a mind construct?
Mm-hmm.
Is this part of being is this part of what makes us human? You know, is this correlate at all to having empathy or whatever else we say distinguishes us? Which I'm not totally convinced. When we start looking at some of these animals, we're so different. Especially when we start looking at dolphins and fucking whales and sharks and some of these higher level thinkers. Maybe
Yeah.
And I can't figure out if I'm happier if I had control or didn't have control.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm all over the place right now.
weighing. Yeah, it's the scale imbalance.
I think what I'm dealing with personally would be that I focus my control not on myself, but maybe this gets to the relationship of managing other people. Maybe that is control. Maybe I'm a control freak and I don't even realize it. And the reason that I covet the idea of not having control is because I'm expending so much energy trying to keep control of my environment.
Control freak. I've heard that expression.
Yeah,
You're a control freak.
Right,
Freak.
but so you're saying you could be blind to it, but wouldn't you think your significant other would hone in on such a thing and kind of remind you that, hey, this is who you are to me, and you're a bit different, from the years we've been together. It seems to me you're wanting to gain more control over things. You're a control freak. Like, if you hadn't heard that from your true friends or the people that truly love you, I would suggest that's not a thing for you to worry about, unless you don't have people that truly love you. You don't have real friends that will step to you and tell you who you are in your face, truthfully and wholeheartedly, because they are an exact representation of your lifestyle and where you are mentally right now in the present. And if they can't do that for you, those people aren't really friends. They're acquaintance.
I tend to agree with you because you guys here, I feel generally like I can be myself, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that enough. I definitely feel like I can be one thing in my household, and I'm grateful for it. But when I step outside the door, I don't feel as comfortable being that person. I don't know if anybody else feels that way.
I'm sure half of us.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Fucking A right.
So you're saying immediately there's a different persona that comes out with the full-on mask.
I don't know if it's full on, but it's definitely not the same person. I have to be very because for whatever reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think it's just maybe it's because on some levels I also like them kind of what would be the way to put it? I like to kind of acknowledge what we do, our lack of control, or I like to acknowledge,
Yeah.
how ridiculous things actually are.
Yeah.
For my own sense. You can probably relate, right? It's like a lot of your humor, right?
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily for everybody,
Right.
Yeah,
So, but at the same time, I don't really view myself as a control person. But listening, thinking about it, maybe I just approach it different. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just
maybe
as guilty of it
right.
as the
And we
next
all
person.
are.
Right.
And
That's
Yeah.
what I'm kind of trying to see in myself.
right. Rourke says, it is all too easy to be distracted by the world external to us, a very fruitless endeavor. It is a battle within against the ego and desire to think oneself is the master when we are not. Now, that is some goddamn truth in the pudding.
That is, but that's acknowledging yourself, and I think that's the first step, right? Is to whenever we're in a situation, we have to acknowledge self.
Yeah.
And we can acknowledge ourself and literally at the flip of a switch, stop the action of that is causing us the most stress and revert back to something that is of sound bliss and peace with yourself.
I'm glad you said that because I was just thinking if every one of us right now could step outside of ourselves, let's just say our soul body, and watch our physical life take place, what would you think about yourself? What would you think about your life?
You would
I'd
think
probably walk away.
You
right?
think so, Kent? You think
Yeah.
so? So wait,
Yeah.
but Kent, by you saying that now, that means there's some sort of irregular, I don't know. There's some sort of wrong going on right now in your life where you're just going to walk away from it.
Yeah. I seriously, honestly, do not want to be agoraphobic. I didn't ask to be agoraphobic.
Let me ask you this, Kent. If we could do this, if we could step outside of our bodies and witness our lives for a moment, and you could literally leave the house, no one will ever see you outside, and your body's in home, would you take that walk or go to that place you long to go?
I'd go and see all of them.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you're saying that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's running deep within you. You know this.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about control, we are. I suppose if you look at it as an illusion, it is illusion outside the body. You know, I said this thing about control of my life, and you're not. You never are, because you can walk out in front of a truck, all that control down the drain. I think, but if there is one control that really exists, it's the controls that we put on ourselves, whether we want them or not. Now, there's something inside me that says, if you go outside, you will die. And you can't get this thing out of your head. And you know it's mad. And you know it's not the case. You know? And yet, you go outside and suddenly it becomes real. And this fear comes over you, and you are dreadfully overcome with this desire to go back home. And the times I've had to go, I've gone through it all. We've had the hypnosis, right? And the thing that agoraphobia put upon me was a control.
Yes.
And I saw being hypnotized as losing that control.
Right.
And it sparked the agoraphobic fear in me. So I'm an actual prisoner of control.
Isn't
because
that funny?
of it.
Yeah,
But it doesn't affect anybody else.
It doesn't, but your mind is that powerful where it binds you to that house.
Yeah,
Kent.
But
but it was overnight. I mean, I'm on a ferry, right, coming back from Ireland, right, and then I'll get a train in Wales and make my way all down to London and all the rest of it. I don't know. London's sort of like that way. That's all I know. I go, which train for London? And I go, the green one over there. Thanks, mate. Get on it. And I go, oh, look, London. Cool. Get off the train. What's the train for Surrey? That one, mate. There's no maps. It's not laid out and everything. And I'm, should we say, free. And I'm out there. I get home. I wake up the following morning and I feel weird. And I get up and I get dressed to go to work. And I got, 20 yards up the road. And I was breathless. I couldn't walk. I don't know what the hell was happening. And I came back and I said, I don't think I can go to work today. And my mum was looking and she goes, oh, God, you look dreadful. What's the matter with you? I said, I don't know. And it was quite a while before it was actually even vaguely diagnosed as, the guy goes, he's agoraphobic. He goes, he never has been. I could never keep the bloody guy in.
So you can't get this from trauma in life? Like, was there some trauma in your life that...
One of the psychologists that I saw, and when I say saw, they came to me, because I couldn't get to them, suggested it might have had something to do with my dad's death. I said, that was like 6-7 years ago, and nothing. I've been to Austria since, on a skiing holiday, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it was delayed
Nothing.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I know
something
that-
just went, do you know what? You're going to be agoraphobic. Tough shit, mate.
That's, wow.
But I will say, Kent, well, first thing, there's different types of phobias. And if you've had any phobia, you can sort of relate to what Kent's going through. Because it's just so ridiculous. Yet it's very real, right?
Yeah.
Now, thinking about my dad, I know I had, mine, I didn't get agoraphobia, but I had probably one of the only panic attacks I ever had in my life post my dad dying. And it was maybe, I want to say it was a month later.
Yeah.
2 months. It was delayed a little bit, but something was building up. And all of a sudden I just started to lose control.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, right? Luckily my wife was there and kind of calmed me down, because and it feels sort of the same. I feel like it was just my brain was just spiraling. And it started moving fast. And then it was like, man, I can't seem to relax, and then I started, it was building for days, it's like, well, I'm going to exercise. I'm like, it's not helping. I'm just like, I couldn't get the brain to kind of cool down. And it literally had to overheat to finally break it.
Yeah.
Like I had to literally lose it almost to come back.
Right.
It feels, I still think so it's there's something in the mind, and control is all part of it. And I feel like it's some sort of struggle that we go through.
Well, like it's both your guys' case in point. Control is the person. It's a personal struggle between the person's personality, the ego, the self,
the interface.
and everyone has
Someone said that. I think
their
it was
their own battle.
Because it's really as simple and as crude as the reason I'm not a mass murderer is because I have control over not being a mass murderer.
Exactly.
Right? It's not about whether you want to be or don't want to be. It's about whether you're going to go, that's something I do not want to do. And you say to yourself, I'm not going to be a mass murderer. Right? Simple. I mean, it sounds flippant, but...
No, I know.
An extreme point. But it can also misfire.
Exactly.
At some point, something in my head went, do you know what? I don't think the outside world's for you.
Right.
But yeah, the question is it, to Lamont's point, are these things trauma? Well, I'd probably not one answer, right? Can trauma
I think there could be a whole
host
of
trauma,
reasons.
Yeah.
It's that question that crops up throughout everybody's life all the time. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
And sometimes there isn't an answer to why.
Right. And
To
if
why.
we can't answer that,
No.
we can
But that's the
spiral.
problem. That's the problem. Because
Yeah.
we can't get an answer to it, or because we can't have it our way. That's the problem. That's
Yeah.
where we
Right.
take offense.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's
see,
just-
the problem after a while was that after having this agoraphobic state, shall we call it, for a long period of time, then became the norm.
Well, I was going to say maybe like
People
frontal
stopped
cortex.
expecting me to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the normal path now that your
Yeah.
brain. You know what I mean? Like it has options, but that's the easy, smooth path now. Is my guess. But but we all have it, so I don't like to detach my. That's why I like to more relate to things, because I don't really. I understand things better by relating, not separating myself and saying,
But-
"Well, I don't have that." So let me think about it.
But
There's
what's
always a
interesting-
correlation. You know what I mean?
And this is what's important. And for anybody in the chat that even vaguely has this kind of thing, because there are different levels of this. In fact, I think Nick is saying he's pretty similar. Right? He says not as bad, but similar. But to you, it's as bad as it is to me. Trust me.
Yeah. Which is
But
fucked up because
here's
to
the
me,
thing.
because to me it'd be like, oh, that's just bullshit. I can easily get out of that, right?
But where control came back into play, and this is an internal illusionary thing again, but it's internal.
Right.
But where control came into play was I came to the realization that this is how things are. And my control was to, okay, this is how things are. This is the limits of my playing field, shall we say.
Right.
Right.
And that's it.
Whatever it is I'm going to aspire to do, it's going to have to be in this area.
Yeah. And I have to
But
commit.
it's off limits.
Yeah.
It's-
Right.
Yeah.
Everything else, but also the phobia is off limits there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So in
Yeah.
a weird way, you said, okay, you want to play this game. You're not playing it here. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, exactly so.
Of course, you
so,
gave up a lot of land.
but it was because I became agoraphobic. It's because I decided I will have to work from home, which means I had to start my own business,
Yeah.
not work, cap in hand to another company.
Yeah.
So
Well,
everything that I do now and everything that I am has come from being agoraphobic. Because the person I was before I became agoraphobic is a completely different person with different outlooks, with
Oh,
different
yeah.
goals.
Yeah. Tellurin says, I have PTSD based on schizophrenia. I have been studying the phenomenon of manic thought.
Path of
For
least
a while.
resistance. Yeah.
And
Well, I
that's out of
think-
someone's control. Like,
well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and some of this is brain chemistry too, right?
Yeah, something was
think-
going on.
There's a reason now.
imbalances.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Chrome said, I do not confuse my laziness with phobia. I think there's some people out there who don't know the differences.
Oh
what
no,
he's saying.
yeah, you know it if you really have a phobia.
I mean, there's been a
Because
thousand
it's
times
not
I've
fun. It's
I- you know,
nothing
it's-
glamorous about it. It's
Yeah.
nothing. It's horrible. As much as you might joke about it,
Mhm.
it's not. You know, it's not.
no, I know it's not a joke. I knew
Yeah.
his name was Rodney. The dude was terrified that he had this phobia that he was going to die.
Oh,
Like-
that's,
Yeah.
that's a
And
really
he-
broad. And the
that-
broader they are, the worst.
And
Like,
he's just
Yeah.
hell bent on his life. He's borderline freaking out every day.
yeah, that's tough because
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. Oh my god, we're gonna die. Oh my god. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Imagine
phobia.
being in that state for the rest
Yeah,
of your
that's-
life. That's
nah.
wild.
I still to this day believe it was my humour
Mhm.
that allowed me to survive this. Because, like, for instance, I would explain to people, like, they'd say, "Oh, we're having this party. You come over. It'd be great." And I'd go, "No." To begin with, they used to go, "No. I bad leg, any excuse, right?" And in the end, I said, "No. I'm going to have to come clean with this." And I explained to people about, why I can't go to the party. And if I had £1 for every time I've had somebody go, "You're fucking mental, mate," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, I should be taking offence to that,
hmm
in an official kind of capacity. although it is a mental condition. He's not wrong,
Right.
but it's implied in a different way. So
Yeah, it's implied.
yeah. I'm not talking to dog
Wrong.
shit
It's not
in the garden or
really.
something, this
Right.
kind of thing, right? And
just
the
like-
trees are my friend, and this kind of thing. So like, I'm not lunatic type thing, but and I go, oh, you're fucking mental, mate, and all that sort of thing. And but my humour allowed me to not be offended by that, and
It
play it along and go, yeah, mate, and all this sort of thing, and it just went away, and people just accepted it for what it was.
Right.
It took time. Oh boy, did it take time! But what makes I know I've said this has happened so many times. I'll be somebody who knows me, say a few weeks, and we've been talking and stuff like that, and they're coming around, and like a client coming around getting his machine done and stuff like that, and we're chatting away and everything like that, and this subject will come up in sort of like, oh, have you ever been to blah de blah, and I go, no. Oh, have you ever been to there? No. Okay, no, and I say no. I got agoraphobia. I haven't left the house in 40 years, and they look at you sort of like, huh? Sort of thing, like a confused puppy.
Right.
And they do the head tilt inside. But you seem so normal.
has
I go,
nothing to do with it.
I said, trust me, I'm not. But the reason I appear normal is because you're in my space, and everything here is what I would, I am now, and if it was outside, I would take that with me. So
But-
I do appear normal in that space. Don't take me out anywhere; you'll see a different side.
But the normal thing, you are normal. The thing is that everyone has these constraints. They're just different.
Yeah.
Yours,
absolutely.
you were forced to reveal it. You weren't forced, actually. You chose to. And
Oh,
it's
I
really
think,
made you.
uh,
It's
no,
made you
it-
more authentic.
No, I
to
did
peop-
try to hide it to start with. I was
Of course
forced
you
to.
did. Yeah,
You
we
had to
learned
because it's
that,
such a
right?
fundamental part of people's lives.
I was just
It's
going to say what Groove.
moving around.
I was just going to say what Groove said. Can anybody in this room define what the fuck normal is?
No, because
Oh,
my
yeah, that's
point
true
is,
enough.
the person Kent was talking to could have been hiding more things about himself.
Right.
He
Oh,
could have
yes,
been living
very
a
likely.
totally false life.
Oh,
right?
100%.
And
Yeah.
that's why
And we know
it's
this as
ironic
humans.
that when people are worried about what they consider normal,
Yeah.
is probably
That is such a
telling.
loose,
It's
such a
telling.
vague, loose term.
Yeah,
Normal.
so.
On whose parameters?
It's like-
Yeah. That's why I look at it.
Internally, I don't consider agoraphobia as a mental condition. In the way, should we say, the average Joe on the street would consider what a mental condition is.
Mm.
Surprising that they only seem to have one stereotype of what somebody with a mental condition is like, and they're literally, I'm supposed to be, wandering around half naked going, I'm a big potato. Like, that's what they think is a mental condition.
Right. They have no idea that small
Yeah.
phobias are mental conditions. It's mentally
Yeah, it's-
debilitating me.
It's a
To the
disability.
average
Yeah.
Joe on the
in-
street,
in society,
mental
it's a
is
disability.
a very deceptive
Yeah.
terminology.
Complete schizo, talking to yourself, going out, fucking off, pissing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, mate, well, I always listen to the voices in my head, I go, you've got voices in your head. You go, yeah, but just the normal amount. I'm not mental. That kind of
Right.
thing. It's all different, weird,
It's just-
confused
yeah.
perceptions of what a mental condition is.
No, I mean we all have disabilities to some degree. Some are much more obvious and severe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in society, we can certainly some are more adapted. They can conceal it, and then that's one thing. One of the things I realized was that the more I concealed whatever phobias or things about me that made me appear inconsistent to other people were really hiding it was doing me way more damage than, because they ultimately didn't care, you know,
Right.
to the most extent. But I will say, just in general, even like starting a new job, people say, "Well, are you nervous about it?" I was like, "I'm nervous because I don't know these other people. I
Right.
don't
Like
know."
going to school. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I'm nervous about things I can't see or understand. And again, that gets to the control, probably,
That
right?
does. That's
Mm-hmm.
absolute control.
Right. And
It's
and I'm just realizing that I look at it and say, no, I don't, so on one or two levels, one, you could say that I'm trying to control, or another, I'm acknowledging that I don't have control. And how can I be comfortable when I know that I have no control over my. It's kind of like a conundrum. I don't know which one.
right.
There's an awareness that I don't have control, and yet, you know, I'm
Fear is
comfortable. Yeah.
fear is in the wolf's in the wolf's clothing, right? And the wolf is watching over control. The
Yeah.
sheep,
Tell you
essentially.
what, they're paying a lot of attention.
And from
Yeah.
what I can gather from today's subject, control, is we've all, in some shape or form, we've created the hell we choose to live in. We conjured that up. We conjured it up. We've convinced ourselves these are the things that we should be thinking about, that we should be afraid of, that we should overly think of. And we allow ourselves to do it. It's like we've created it. The devil always said, there's no such thing as hell. You're creating that.
Mm. And what better hell than I can ever imagine is someone who thinks they deserve to go to hell, or what the hell they perceive is probably so bad, right? But you're conjuring that.
You're conjuring everything that you think was wronged by you, to you.
Who can do worse judgment than oneself on oneself?
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to find somebody else.
How hard are you on yourself? You know what I mean? Like, can anybody outjudge you on yourself? We judge ourselves so hard, we don't need anybody else's freaking
Right.
judgment.
Input on it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I like to think most of us love our life like Eternian said. I think most of us we do love our life, but at the same time, we're in constant
Struggle.
judicial mind frames.
Yeah.
Where we're the
Yeah,
lawyer, the judge,
And it's the oneself. It's your true
the
self.
juror.
Well, we only love life because we fear death.
You got to have both. I mean,
No,
they go
because-
hand in hand.
Yeah, because there are some people, let's face it, who at some point go, do you know what? I think I prefer death.
Right. You don't even know what that looks like, right? We know
Yeah.
what life looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But,
We're
I mean,
comfortable. We don't want to leave this shit only because we don't know what death looks like.
there are people killing themselves,
there's
ending
probably
their
some truth to
lives
that. Yeah.
all over the world, all the
Mhm.
fucking time,
Yes.
Yeah.
over various things, and it may be over also imaginary constructs
Mm-hmm.
of things like money.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Money is paper that's been given a value.
Exactly.
do we have a natural state, though? Should
Like a-
we be naturally happy? Should we
Like
be
a
naturally
harmonious
unhappy?
state?
Like,
a har-
is there, if we're in this, we're obviously doing this, right? But maybe some of us more than others. I would attribute that to our brains, having more active brains personally, but I could be wrong. But is there any other, like, what's the balance?
Maybe this is okay, Dave, maybe this is it. Maybe this is what human is all about. Maybe we are supposed to be these emotional roller coaster, heavy thinkers at times, finding ourselves in pleasure, downfalls, anger, rage, stress,
This
love,
ease.
hate, curious,
Not.
always wondering. Stay in the box, stay out of the box. Like maybe this is it. Maybe we created this for ourselves as a people, as a mass. We've put so many things that are putting us in these thought processes, like these. We've implemented so many things that caused us anguish and put us into our own proverbial hell. I don't know if we can go back in time and say, hey, we've done it wrong. I think we're probably always going to end up like this, where there's constant polarities in everyone's life and everyone's culture and everyone's country, and we're just supposed to navigate and explore these different polarities, because something Kent said scared the shit out of me. Name one thing about you want to get rid of that you'll never have back again. And I don't want to separate with anything if that's the case, because what do you look like without fear?
Right.
What do you look like without stress?
Yeah. Mind
That's
you,
it.
would we be worrying about any of this?
No.
At
Because
all?
because there'd be nothing to worry about, because we would know. We would know that it's meaningless to worry.
Well, let's just say for a moment that if things had been slightly different, let's say that humans weren't at the top of the food chain, and we were actually farm animals to them. I don't think we'd be worrying about any of this shit.
Mm-mm.
Would we? Because there's nothing above us. We've got time to be self-absorbed on every level.
I think that philosophy's come around too, where people think Earth is just a physical form of a school where you get lessons to endure all this, to see what it feels like, to know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know to what ends and go, oh, did I pass the test? No,
But
you got to do
meaning-
it again.
Yeah.
But I think
Reincarnate.
I think what if that test was,
Bing.
you get there, right, and you're like, you get to the other side and you're like, I did a crap fucking job at it. Maybe I'll give it another crack. Now that I have this different perspective on it.
Mhm.
But the fucking gatekeeper tells you that's fine that you have this different perspective on how you would do things different, but you know the rules. You can't remember the other side. You'll have no inkling that there is another side, and you start from scratch.
Mm.
I like to think that's the case. I like to think that this whole thing is just one big old learning experience about consciousness, not about the body. The body is just the tool,
The vessel to experience
to
this
allow
shit.
you to
Yeah.
experience, but the just quantum entanglement with everything.
Let's
maybe,
just
maybe that is the ultimate goal, because if you look at everything's an experience, right?
right.
Everything is a learning process.
Oh, that was the learning process.
Everything that was downloaded and stored.
Yeah.
That's going to prevent me from doing certain things. Every day, no matter what, you're learning something. And maybe the truth is right in front of our very eyes, and we're just looking around it. We're here to learn something.
We remind ourselves every day, right? We go to a amusement park and we'll go, man, that roller coaster was an experience. I'm glad I tried that for the first time in my life.
Glad I ate sushi for
I'm
the
glad
first.
I ate. It's almost as if we're telling ourselves to enjoy the ride because we know it's just a sip of life. 100 years in the vast cosmos is not even a fucking blink. It's not even a bat.
Yeah.
It's over before it even started.
So yeah, why not have an Earth as a fucking playground where you can learn how to feel, know what love feels like he was saying earlier. What if it is just one big ass vat of experience? Earth is this physical vibrarium that you come to endure the most painstakingly self-challenging struggles you could ever go through in the physical form, because maybe in the spiritual form that's not possible because you can see through all the bullshit. No pun.
Shirt guy says opinion on Tyler the Creator. I don't know if this person is trolling or is that a legit question. But I like Tyler the Creator.
He stands right out of the box. He ain't normal. He's in true self, and he just does whatever the fuck he wants to do.
I would like to believe he gave up a whole lot of control in how people view him.
Oh, yeah.
I liked her songs.
Mm-hmm.
He's talented. He's a talented musician, I'll tell you that.
No, she is. Bonnie Tyler was, she did some nice songs.
Who, Tyler the Creator, or who we talking about? I thought he
I
said
have no
Tyler
idea who Tyler the Creator is.
Oh, yeah. Tyler the Creator is a hip-hop
he's a
artist.
hip-hop artist.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who the fuck are you talking about, Kent?
Bonnie Tyler.
Himself.
Oh, Bonnie Tyler. I don't know Bonnie Tyler.
Bonnie Tyler.
Well, give me a song.
God damn it, fucking live in a box or something. What's the matter with you, man?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, yeah. Kent.
Yeah.
I said that in a very depressed way, Kent.
You've got to either be quite old or gay to know who Bonnie Tyler is.
I guess I'm both then.
Yeah, well, there you go. Then you should know. Then you brush up. Brush up.
Yeah. allow me to catch up. I'm sorry, Kent.
Tyler.
Shit.
All right, I better get going.
Yeah.
Some dinner.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was good having you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, man.
It's always a treat to get your
Yeah, it's always to dive in the wonderful world of Dave's mental complex.
I know. I always end up in the same place. I get back like, I don't know, shit, man.
Hey, Dave. Hey, before you go,
welcome to my club.
Yeah. Let me
come
ask
out
you.
with some really bold proclamations, and I just
Right.
kind of
And then
I was
can't even follow your own fucking.
I was just gonna say that. Let me ask you before we get too crazy with it, Dave.
out swinging.
Knowing how you feel right now, knowing that we all talked about everyone's situation and inevitabilities, knowing all that, I'm gonna assume during the conversation you felt good because you weren't thinking about the situation you're in. But knowing that it's always there waiting for you, a choice, it's just there waiting for you when you step out of it. How do you feel knowingly, subconsciously, in an involuntary moment, you're going to fall right back into that state of mind? Or will you kindly and gently remind yourself,
I don't have to be here.
I don't have to
Not
be here.
anymore.
Nah, it's going to be bittersweet.
Yeah.
Like my music. I don't know, it gets into that whole point. I think oh boy, how do I put this? I don't really see any other way to be but the way I am, and I've spent, I don't know, I can't even really imagine being like taking a different path or changing dramatically. I don't know. The whole thing just is very it's interesting, It does seem to just come back to just I don't know why we're here.
Right.
And I have, I just don't know. I don't know what is going on. Right.
Yeah.
I do know kind of how to enjoy myself.
Mm-hmm. But that's a scary thing, though.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to go back and you're going to fall right back into that mental state, that anxious, worrying, anxiety, stressful state.
Yeah.
At what point? At some degree, because I'm going to do it too. Right.
Yeah.
Like we're all going to go fucking do it. But at what point do we just say enough is enough? At what point do we just stop the fucking vicious cycle of torturing ourselves and having these mental bouts and just be okay?
Yeah.
Always had that one wish. I always just asked, fuck everything else. Fuck your money and your riches. I just want to be okay with myself. I just want to be okay.
Yeah, I think that's then the question is, what is it? Is it death or is it just?
Maybe it's not worrying. Maybe it's like
it isn't. I know. I agree.
Fuck my situation. Fuck it all to hell. I have no control over it. I can control what I do, my actions right now to maybe get myself in a better situation. But fuck all if I know how it's going to work out. Who gives a fuck? I'm doing my part. I'm good with it. Fuck it.
I mean, I feel that way about money on some level. I would much rather, I see friends and connections as a way better currency than dollars.
Oh
Right.
Christ, yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I should be collecting friends and experiences like that with other people.
Absolutely.
And not chasing, worried about money
Yes.
because every day, every month that goes by,
You're
that
losing
money
that.
is almost getting more and more
Mm-hmm.
less important,
Uh-huh.
right? And it definitely, it's almost folly to think, why would I keep trying to accumulate more of something that really is not going to change at all any sort of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's just not. I can't think of it in any other way than, once you get past some really basic security stuff, and even that, I'm really simple. It's just like shelter and
Mm-hmm.
some food.
Mm-hmm.
Yet
Yeah.
I feel like I can't be okay with that. Maybe that's just because I have this other sense that maybe I feel others don't feel the same way, and
We all feel the same way, but even more importantly, what fucking changes? Whether you go along with the ride or you freak out or try to control the ride is still going to go where it's going to go. What changes?
I think for me, I know this sounds really crazy,
Right.
but coming on the show for me instead of doing whatever I was gonna do for an
Mhm.
hour,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this was more pleasurable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm working towards
Mhm.
Yep.
is taking back just little pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and trying my best to remember that money does not lead to happiness.
You hit it. I mean, you hit it dead
Yeah.
on. You hit it dead on. Look at us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kent must have felt the same way. Chat must have felt the same way. Him and I felt the same way. We put ourselves in these spots for just a brief moment to say these words amongst the community.
And then retreat back to ourselves.
I mean, I love hearing the thoughts from Kent, from Dave. I love watching how engaged the comments are.
Mm.
You know, like it seems to me everybody needs a piece from everybody.
Mind you, that most people in the chat seem to be talking more about Bonnie Tyler now.
Right? But they come
They
here to
move
spend their
around.
time. But look where they are.
Yeah.
I love that. So
Yeah.
we've now made Bonnie Tyler famous again. Yay!
Yeah. There you go.
And maybe that's
She has
what
become
needs to happen.
relevant again.
I'm gonna go listen to her after this fucking
Right.
show just so I can get
Apparently,
caught
she's
up.
still on tour. She might like to say, yeah, I think she must be about 80 years old now.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm
been a while
talking
since she's
about.
done a power ballad.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, though. They come in here, they're in the conversation, they're not. They're on to something else. They stick. You know,
But they're still here.
it always amazes me on how people gravitate. You know, there was a movie with Kevin Costner, and I think it was called The Field of Dreams.
Mm.
And the guy just kept saying, if you build it, they will come. But you're not going to know what they're there for until they come.
Right.
And you have to be yourself. You have to give up control.
Mm-hmm.
You have to migrate to who you are comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be good with it. And you can't second guess it.
Mm-hmm.
If you second guess anything, none of us are here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to be in the flow state to experience new things, new people.
Yeah.
So a lot of us do practice giving up control. Every single day we do it to put ourselves in situations.
And it teaches you something.
And it teaches you something.
It teaches you that just because you have a certain feeling about something and you don't get it because it's out of your control, it teaches you to have self-discipline and patience and acknowledge your shit. Your world does not affect anyone else's. It's just your world. So how could you ever expect someone to want to live in that?
Mm-hmm.
Your crazy ass fantasy,
Mhm.
right? That's out of your spend less time worrying about others' fucking lives and spend more time thinking about yours.
Yeah, well, there's definitely something to be said for that.
Mhm.
You know?
Mm.
Because I
Definitely.
promise you have a handful
And they have a handful on theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much we have to work on with ourselves.
Mhm.
It's pathetic. And yeah, every day we put a piece of that shit off because we know it's monumental. It's easier to sit in depression, to not want to fucking challenge it because we know it takes a lot of
Right.
energy.
But this helps. This very channel helps me in particular.
Right. Remind you.
Because I know who I'm going to engage with.
Right.
And I know if I have something on my mind,
Mm-hmm.
someone's going to listen and
Right.
offer an opinion, offer some sort of understanding.
Because they've either lived it or they're living it with you, or
Right.
some haven't gotten to that point, but they're learning.
Right.
And the thing is that we got to remove the ego that we didn't come here to solve something.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
It's very.
It's
You
been
know,
why. This whole conversation has been why.
Yeah. See you, Vicky.
Just an exploration.
Night, Vicky.
I do believe it leads to something good
Mm-hmm.
within ourselves because it opens up even the possibility of maybe, finding a little more peace to some degree. Or just understand what makes you happy, because there are things that, there's definitely things that, that are better for us,
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
I guess I'm just hell bent on not being alone with it, and I remind myself, and you guys remind me. I just want us all to go away tonight and just remind ourselves we don't have to sit with the uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It's a choice. We don't have to sit in it. Just remind yourself, change the narrative, and just, even though you may fall back on it, just gently remind yourself to change the narrative every so often so you get a peace of mind.
And you do have the power of control in that form. You can control the mind state you're in. Just snap your finger and do it. I
may
know
not
it's
be for-
hard.
I know it may not be for a long time.
It's hard, believe me. I'm
Yeah.
no pro at it I'm no pro by a long shot.
But it helps.
But it's possible.
It is.
I was in an angry state last night. The wife said, "Why are you even mad?" I had no idea. It was over some fucking some adverts on a fucking TV show. It made me angry. Like, we got to watch 12 episodes of fucking Andor and commercials.
Mm.
And it made me angry. That's like a stupid reason to get mad. But I held on to that fucking anger. And then and she wasn't giving in. She said, "You know what? I'm not going to let you transform my emotions because you're angry about this." And she stayed in this loving state with me. It was that loving state that made me go, "Why are you doing this right now? You could find other shit to be mad about."
Yeah.
And then in my mind, I proverbially snapped my fingers and I changed the mood. And as I changed it, I witnessed the change. And I was like, oh, so it is that easy. It is the ego telling me, hold on to it. It feels good. Change the atmosphere around you. You
Or,
know
"I
you
need
want
this."
to.
Or even if it's not the ego, it's a part of you saying, I need this. This is part of my survival. This is how I survive.
It was a
Like,
false security blanket to begin
Yeah.
with. You just grown accustomed to it.
Right.
And yeah, because I can be just the reverse. I can go into this melancholy state so quick,
Yeah. And that's
And
the spirit.
sometimes I literally get sick of it. I just go, I am just so tired of being like
Yeah.
this. It's like,
Yeah.
and maybe that's where, the silliness is the way for me to break out of it.
Yeah.
Like I need a way to get out of this, because, because if it starts to suck the energy, then you're really stuck. You can only have so many cats to help you.
Right. And Rourke's right. There, I do believe in entities we can't see. But he's right. He's right. There can be entities that feed on
It's a possibility.
an angered state,
Yeah.
human being.
Oh yeah.
There could be something there that just loves when humans are in certain emotional states where they just
Feed on it.
off of it.
Mm.
There are people who love seeing people just angry and constantly looking for grief. and constantly looking for drama, they feed off of it. That energy it drives them mad, and you want to consume more.
And if you don't think it's real, you ever go to a bad neighborhood, you drive through it, and the energy changes. Call it heightened sense of awareness, the change of the geographical, the dilapidated structures, however you want to look at it. The vibe, the energy changes.
Yeah.
But if you drive 6 or 7 more blocks to the west and you're in this pristine neighborhood where the grass is green, the energy changes. It's tangible. You can feel it, the safety, the beauty of it. You're left from dark to light.
The polarities.
It's the polarities. It's tangible. It dictates a lot. So and here's the other thing. Just because we have these human goggles, these physical human goggles, we can't dismiss anything our goggles can't see. We know there's an ultraviolet spectrum. We have instruments to detect this certain light. And even then, we can't even see the spectrum because we're not capable of doing that in these bodies. And if we were able to see shit,
They say it would drive us mad.
we would probably go fucking crazy.
It would drive us mad with all the shit we've seen. It'd be so much data to intake. We wouldn't understand what we're looking at.
I think that's the beauty of it too.
That's the beauty. We're not supposed to stay in this world.
Which makes
realm.
which makes everybody right.
Right.
Whoever's a religious fanatic, whoever doesn't believe, whoever has spiritual universe, it doesn't matter. You're all fucking right at this point because no one knows how the game is played until you actually leave the goddamn game.
Right.
But we can't even let that go without a fight and bomb ourselves.
Yep.
I don't know, everybody. Hey,
Yeah.
look, the big thing is let it go tonight. Try your best to let it go tonight.
Yeah. And we got this drone going. It ultimately raised the question of control. And when I started the drone, I just said, you know what? I'm going to pull a crazy rabbit. I'm just going to push buttons.
And see what happens.
Put the fucking hydrosynth on an ARP in random, because that's giving up control. And something subtle and nice came out from it. And it was just like, oh, so could it be that easy to create music? Don't think about it. Give up control and just create. So before we take off, we'll play about 10 or 15 minutes more of this drone and leave the good people with your own thoughts about control. And, maybe this drone will score that for you.
Sounds good.
Kent, we're in C major.
We're in the C major.
No, I need to go to bed.
Okay.
I
Thank you.
have people in the morning.
Oh,
Thank you, Dave. Thank
Yes.
you, Kent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no
for having me
problem.
on.
I like coming on here and talking bullshit
I
for
know,
2 hours.
Kent. It's fucking fun,
Yeah.
especially when you guys get in here and talk to us. All of you guys.
we said that today personally. I was like, why do you think Kent and everybody likes to come on his fucking show and rant?
It's good. It's just the same with the pub. People can come and talk about anything they believe and want.
It's just mind exercise.
Mind exercise.
Yeah.
Put
it's
the
good.
fucking mind
Sometimes
on that
it's
treadmill.
good to get shit off your chest.
It is.
You know?
Yeah, sometimes you don't know until you know.
Yeah. I mean, we've had people come up with problems, and we've talked to them about it and offered solutions. In some cases, it's worked. In other cases, not so much. But it was there for them to come on and
Right.
talk. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Well, to Telly, if you're listening, man with beard, we love you, buddy. If you happen to catch this episode, you're not alone. As today you just found out, we're all in the same fucking boat, and we're just fighting to get over.
And we're all going through it. As I always say at the end of the show, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Stick around. We'll be around for 10 more minutes.
All right.